Now, our group two will present the PowerPoint about the character development. We have three members. My name is Anna. Two other is Kim and Jack. So we will talk about uh, feelings, their feelings through all the obstacle. The first one, when they get married, that
Tom and Lily was excited about their wedding and honeymoon. They is going to find a bit of sun, so they were very hopeful.
so they bring a excited and the hopeful feeling through their trip. So when they start their trip, they go on the blow bike and go through the road. The bike is suddenly broken, and when you start,
Um,
They just ride on their motorbike in every place they pass. It looks nastier, but unfortunately, their engine died. They feel some disappointed and stop. They stop and they have to stop and leave there. So Tom was shocked, terrified, and with frustration.
so because of the place they go through is so nasty and dirty, so they feel really upset with their journey because it was they were starting it, but it's so like gone wrong. So because of the bike, they have to stop at the village and they meet to knock.
okay, and and after their motorbike broke, and in the meantime, they have to find a place to stay, and that's why they have to miss Mr. Knox. And when they first saw Mr. Knox, Tom and Lily seems to have a bad impression of him through details such as he ignored the call of the garage owner, and or worse than that, he has a cursing um, erratically and said the bad words about the delay of the of passenger who need of help on the bus. Through the detail of the text, we can see like oh Nielsen, Mr. Knox said furiously.
So at the at mid to knock, they feel uncomfortable and offended. Why I said offended? Because they believe that they can find the son on their honeymoon trip, but mid to knock like uh, not blame, what is it called? Tease them that nah, they not nowhere on the world have sons, so they feel like their belief is attracted by his word. So they decide to uh, give the backpack to Mrs. Hutching. So at that time, they have go through the wood. Sorry.
So give me a second. So Lily pick up Mrs. Hutching bags, the person who need help on the bus earlier, and they decide to return the bag to her condition that they go deep into the wood uh, to find her cottage, and in the wood an air of plum
Clumsily.
bourbon, and adding the horror of the wood brings through details under glowing sky. Only tiny and rudimentary leaves, wizened and poverty-stricken. And Lily and Tom walk through the wood with custom to Lily and protect to Tom. For example, like Lily was still wearing her wedding sandals, which has begun blister her. She held onto Tom's arm, beating her lip with the pen. So, the both miserable since their plan gone different wrong. So Tom and Lily fell into a state of hopeless, and they were still fighting. And after a while of fighting, they finally find a cottage.
A cottage, and at that scene, the picture is totally different from the gray sky and all the obstacle. They have found the really beautiful cottage with a field and the sun. So at that place, they feel really surprised because they just didn't realize about the sun until Mrs. Hatching said that it's really tired to go through uh, a hot day, and they have just realized that through the gray dust and golden swear uh, that uh, reflect on the pendulum. At that time, they had found the sun. It's really satisfied with them. That go through all the teasing, the obstacle with bike, the scary woods. They have found their dream. Uh, so at that place, they can live in the spare room of Mrs. Hatching cottage, and in the morning, uh, they can pick the basket of beans, and Tom can also take his shirt off to the sun cream to dry it. It was like uh, sorry, teacher.
Mm.
Um, okay, so it's like the rare scenario that they have ever imagined about that. Oh, the feeling is like rise again with the happiness, with the satisfying, with have the sin. So in conclusion, we can say that uh, when the beginning of the story, they have start with excited and hopeful, like they imagine the future while on the honeymoon trip, but at the middle part, the feeling is so down in the bottom. They go through with disappointed, uncomfortable, offended, and scared. But in the end, they have feel like more hopeful again, and feel like really satisfied with the trip. And they said that now they can like tell the grandchildren about the story that long ago they have seen the sun with a yellow color. So that is the end of our presentation about the character development of Searching the Summer of by John Aiken. So like I have to tell you about the character feeling. I want to ask you when you go through that situation, like I will ask one person, like why Max, when you
Yes.
done the situation that your bike is broken, what do you feel? And can you like compare your feeling with the character feeling?
Usually, I don't compare my feeling to the character because it's quite um, not reality, sort of like that.
Okay, so when your bike is broken, what do you feel? Like in the middle of the street?
Just pull over.
Okay, you quite you strong and pull over for like a kilometer. Are you sure?
Perhaps.
Rita wants to. I think Rita. I knew it.
Okay, Rita.
If I in these situations, I will be really angry and I will leave the scooter here and come back home. And every plan.
You so swag. You don't need the scooter anymore. Like it's really expensive. Okay, you have money. I know. Okay, Henry, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Like, if you and your partner, like a long relationship partner, gone through a situation that you two want to do a thing that people like didn't support you two, and you have to do it alone to prove them. So what what need to do to prove them
First
that
of
you're
all,
right?
when I make a decision, I will always consider on so many of thinking and thought and scenario to make a decision. Because my decision can make so many kind of things come out, and even like people not supporting me. So at first, I want to ask myself before like why these or those people doesn't don't support me, and I have to think for them first to understand their feeling, their emotional, their thinking about my decision, and I will compare that to my thinking, and I will see which one is more heavier, and which one is more
Okay,
powerful, and which
like you
one
compare your thinking with other thinking.
smarter.
So
Yeah.
so do you like consider with your partner thinking, like through the
Yes, like
time
when my
he think
partner,
that it's
because
too hard?
we are human, okay? We live for each other, we love each other, which means we have to share for each other, not like to take care like a little baby. Isn't that the point?
Okay, you're major right now. Okay, I know. So your opinion's quite like so logical. I agree with that. Like you have to consider with your thinking and other thinking. Don't be so stubborn. Like you're right, you're so right, and in the life you just the
I just
people.
don't like flow with the other because they have more people thinking the same way and you thinking the opposite way. So just not because of that, and you flow with the other. You need to consider and compare.
So I just have two questions about
All
uh,
right.